In the last lesson, you learned how value works. But understanding value is only the beginning, because there's a problem. Imagine you grow apples, and you want bread. So you go to a baker and offer to trade, but the baker says, "I don't need apples right now." Even though both items have value, the trade doesn't happen. This is called the problem of exchange. More specifically, the double coincidence of wants. For a trade to work in a barter system, both people must want what the other has at the same time. Now imagine doing this for everything you need: food, clothing, tools. You would spend more time trying to find the right trade than actually living your life. Let's make it more complicated. What if the baker does want apples, but only wants half as many as you're offering? How do you divide value? How do you store it for later? How do you compare completely different things? Barter systems don't just have friction, they have limits. As societies grew, this problem became impossible to ignore. People needed a better way to exchange value, a system where value could be compared, trades didn't require perfect matches, and transactions could happen efficiently. Thanks for learning with us today at CryptoU. In the next lesson, you'll see the solution that changed everything.
There you go. Welcome to CryptoU. What's up, everybody? It's Tuesday night in Texas. Bobby Gray here, joining you still live from Singapore. I'm inside today because you may recall in our last couple calls, I sweat the bed, and it's a little cooler inside. It's actually kind of toasty year round here, 1 degree north of the equator. So I'm joining you from inside my room here today. So thanks for joining. Welcome. Good evening. And here we go. So one thing that's a little bit different today is we have allowed our besties in Texas to join us. And so there's Tim, a
Hey
bestie
everybody.
in Texas. Who else is out there? Gage is out there, Mitchell's out there. Guys, look, feel free to jump in. We've got a lot to tell you about tonight, but maybe not a lot to talk about. So this might not be an incredibly long call, but I want you guys as involved as you'd like to be, because as you will find out later in this call, it is all systems go, except in Texas. But just real quick, because of the nature of the cease and desist and our continued communication with people in Texas, I want to remind everybody that we are under a cease and desist in the state of Texas, specifically regarding TEXITcoin, that's me, MineTXC, that's me, Blockchain Mint, that's me, and Robert J. Gray, also me. And so let's scroll down real quick to, excuse me, the actual order itself, where I am strictly prohibited. I am ordered that me, the respondents, immediately cease and desist from offering for sale and any security in Texas until the security is registered with the Securities Commissioner or offered for sale pursuant to an exemption from registration under the Texas Securities Act. So number one, guys, I am not offering for sale anybody on this call or anyone in Texas whatsoever, any type of security. Number two, it is further ordered that respondents immediately cease and desist from acting as securities dealers, agents, investment advisors, or investment advisor representatives in Texas until they are registered with the Securities Commissioner or acting pursuant to an exemption from registration under the TSA, Texas Securities Act. So I am not an investment advisor. I'm not an agent. I'm not a dealer. I'm not a representative. And I'm also not in Texas. Part of the reason why I'm not in Texas is so that I can have these calls with you and be able to look a judge in the eye and tell them I'd never violated the order. So I'm not in Texas and I am not acting as a security dealer, agent, investment advisor, or investment advisor representative. Number three, it is ordered that respondents immediately cease and desist from engaging in any fraud in connection with the offer for sale of any security in Texas. So, what was the allegation of fraud in here? Just to review, Material, misleading, and deceptive. I think this is a bit of a stretch. Persons who offer and sell securities, including mining packages not registered, blah, 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 are in violation of this. So I want to remind everybody, um, are paying bonuses and commissions to sellers for misleading or
Hey, can I just
uh,
say, I can't wait till the day happens, Bobby, where we don't have to keep talking about this. We don't have to keep reading this same document over and over again. It's going to be a wonderful
yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. Look, there are two ways of looking at this. One is the way they look at it, which is, based on law and conclusions of law. And two is the way that we look at it. I will never not be interested in doing a great job. I will always be interested in being overly transparent. Loose lips sink ships, they say, but I think we built this ship with these loose lips over here. So look, if I've got to go through a list of disclosures and disclaimers at the beginning of a call to err on the side of caution, so be it. But we want to make sure that we, out of an overabundance of caution, are not committing fraud. This is about Daniger Resources. Daniger Resources is me. It's a DBA. It's not a company. Who is the owner of Daniger? Me. It's a DBA, guys. And then number four is further ordered that respondents immediately cease and desist from offering securities in Texas through an offer containing a statement that is material, misleading, or otherwise likely to deceive the public. I can't for the life of me conclude what they might be thinking about or referring to there, but guys, I'll go out of my way now and always to not mislead or deceive miners, Texans, human beings on planet Earth, and everyone else. So just a little housekeeping there as we get our call started for this evening. Again, I apologize for that. But like I said, whether it's the law that requires us to be really good people or do a good job, uh, and that's a bit of the pot calling the kettle black sometimes with them government peoples. We won't get into that. This is not philosophy hour with Bobby. This is important minor updates with Bobby and Timmy and Gage and 463 of you. Thank you so much. This is a big call. This is a big call. And I'm glad to see that because, look, as we get into season three here, as we talk about it, I'll show you what the most important thing is. And we'll close out of this and we'll go back to the TEXITcoin website. So first up on my list to talk about tonight is the new TEXITcoin website. We had a holding page here for a long time, and now we've got real content. And the content's great. It links in with our X page for kind of even more live updates. But there are a couple sections here that I want to draw your attention to. First is, the news and updates. We repurposed a lot of the content from the help desk over here to this site so that it can get indexed properly and communicated to the AI and the bots and the web people and all that stuff. If you don't know all the stuff that we've published, you can't, make good decisions and good conclusions from the information that you can't find. And so we brought a lot of content over. There's a lot of new stuff here as well. But this is where you'll see the latest news and updates and content. And we've got a little bit of a glitch because the latest one is here. Welcome to TEXITcoin Season 3. And so what I wanted to show you on this page is how what's next. The most important thing from where we are now is first priority, bringing the community back together. And, on these calls at the height of them, I think we had 12, 13, 1,400 people. The last couple of weeks, 200, 300. Now we're at 475. I think it might mean that people are, interested in reconnecting and continuing down our path. And it's like I said here, it was foolish to think that the journey to page one was going to be easy. I don't know if you thought it. I knew that we were going to have some challenges along the way. We're dealing with those challenges. We dealt with challenges before we had a cease and desist in Texas. And so we worked through those challenges. We worked through them together. We worked through them hopefully as friends. But here we are as we start season three, and it's time to get the band back together. Some of you will say the band never left. We've been here patiently waiting all along, and we've got a lot of great stuff going for us now that we're going to talk about tonight. Anyway, so that's the first thing on my list, the web updates. Let me continue sharing my screen because there's some fun sections in here for you guys to enjoy as well. We're still working on navigation issues, but the top level navigation on the home page from the desktop version works great. And so a couple other things to draw your attention to. We've got a legal page here, which gives you, not live updates, but kind of real-time updates. And if you start all the way at the bottom, it shows a really good chronological series of events. The cease and desist, sales halted, search for counsel, Quinn Emanuel selected, order challenged, 10-day hearing declined, schedule unknown, file secured for the evidence. We're moving forward. We've got our expert. I actually had a call with the expert this morning, went very well. Basic legal framework, for you guys and for everyone else. Hearing date secured. And the latest two updates, the new SEC crypto guidance, how it applies to our case. And then the latest thing, which is the approval, partial victory for us to get this hybrid hearing format. Originally, the hearing was supposed to be just in Zoom format. And so now we've got this thing where it is going to be both in person. So we'll be there in person. When I say we, I mean our attorneys. Not sure about me just yet, but we'll be there with our legal team and our evidence and exhibits in person. It's much more effective to be able to show those things in person. We're also starting now to look for witnesses. And so I know a lot of people have been collecting names to feature on, potential witness lists. That's really great if you volunteer for that. You're going to have to get interviewed by our legal team. And so you might have a really great story, but they might determine that you're not perfect for putting on the stand. If you get frazzled quick and, might not make a great witness, great witnesses and, honest testimony sometimes are two different things. So we might need an affidavit from some people. We might need you to jump on the stand. But one of the things that I thought was kind of funny is that the hearing date and location is now published. And so, can we have 50,000 people show up waving signs and banners? Can we parade the supercars around, the administrative office building? Maybe a good idea, probably not. But the in-person hearing is now approved. So we'll put, the little updates here to give you guys kind of the too long don't read version of it. And we'll, continue to add stuff. So this is the latest. It's our side of the story. We're trying to keep it factual and accurate so that you can get our response to the things that people are talking about out there in the forums and on the troll website. Speaking of which, I've got a whole section on our page now dedicated to the TXE trolls. Feel free to read it at your leisure. Good stuff out there. Anything else on the website? Resources, we've talked about all this stuff before. I'm not going to go through each one of these individually. But there is one new thing, and that's the Swap TXC page. Now, this used to be located in the Miner back office. We've brought it kind of public so that anybody can use it. And it's just a real quick, convenient swap page that allows anybody to go on there and trade out USDT, USDC, or PYUSD for TXC or for WTXC. So fill in the blanks, popping them out. Remember that you are going to get hit for a 5% convenience fee. The reason for that is really twofold. One is it's, to cover our costs in operating the site. And two is because as you're going in there and you're buying coins off the open market, you're driving the price up. So we give you a quoted price, but if you buy $1,000 worth of coins, you might push the price up a penny or two. Well, a penny or two right now is 5%. And so we need to be able to take that into consideration so that we don't actually lose money in trying to provide this, simple feature to you and the rest of our community. So that is the latest website update. Couple things about the website. I need your help. On two kind of perspectives. Perspective number one is I need you to go through this with a fine-tooth comb and look for a couple different things. Number one, anything that's wrong, broken links, typos, misspelling, whatever. Two is I need you to look for the things that everyone else in the world is going to look for when they start to come across us. And we'll talk about that in more detail maybe now. Maybe now. Let me see if I can find the file. Guys, we just 512 people on the call now. Great. We just signed and paid for a deal to start our mainstream promotion efforts. And I don't know if I can find I can find it. Let's see if I can find it. I can find the plan from our PR team. I'm not going to go through it all the way with you, but we'll go pretty far into it because it's our money getting spent. Yeah, okay, here we go. I'm gonna go through it quick. I'm not sharing this document. Again, guys, I told you full disclosure, but I'm not going to tell you everything, but I will try to tell you when I'm not telling you something. So what I'm not going to give you is all the names of the influencers and the KOLs, as they're called now, that we're bringing on. But I will tell you that we spent a lot of money on it, and I'm excited about it. And it's our first little toe dip in the water of really mainstream marketing and promotion to the crypto community. And um, and so I'm just going to show you real quick. Again, I'm going to kind of jump over who some of these guys are, but I'm going to get down to the bottom part where it talks about the other activation stuff that we're doing. Come and Take It campaign, 10 Town Hall campaign, um, and then, other things that we're doing that line up with some of our timelines we'll talk about in a minute. But this stuff is underway. It's all happening now. And as we approach mainstream crypto, as we go out there and we introduce ourselves to the world, and they're going to go to our website to find those answers. And so, what I want you to do is I want you to pretend that you're a skeptic. You're a disinterested third party. You heard about us. Maybe which if you haven't seen that article, that was really cool. That was really cool. Let me show you that one real quick. You go back to TEXITcoin website, TEXITcoin in the news. We've got a link to this KuCoin article.
Hey, Bobby, I don't know
Tex
if it's my internet connection, but it looks like it's pretty choppy. So I don't know if everybody's seeing this stuff, but it's choppy on my end. Gage, Mitchell, is it choppy for you guys?
Yeah, it is. He just needs to slow down for just a sec.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit,
I
but
go
like
really
everything you're showing right now, we can't really see, just so you know. It's super
You can't see it at
pixelated.
all?
Well, it's super
way.
pixelated. Like
It's
you can't,
it's
I can't read
distorted.
anything.
My internet's terrible here. All right, so let's get back to not screen sharing. And I'll try to tell you about these things, and maybe they'll show up better in the recording. But anyway, KuCoin did a great blog article about us and saying, look, here's what they are. Here's our evaluation. Here's kind of the story of their journey so far. And they're seeing, if we're successful in this legal stuff, they're seeing a potential bullish recovery of, price back to $1.20 to $1.80. That's their prediction. And so, from where we are today, that's a 6 to 9x, improvement from the current, sub 20-cent price. Anyway, long story short is I want you guys to go through this website and say, if I was just learning about TEXITcoin right now, if I was unfamiliar with TEXITcoin, saw it on somebody's blog, saw it in a YouTube video, and I went there, what kind of conclusion would I draw? Would I say that this is a new and interesting project that has some potential, it's got some legs? Or is this, something that, there's a lot of missing pieces? Obviously, white paper is going to be at the top of everyone's list. But what else is there? And now in the next couple of days between now and when we start to go live with these investments, what are the things that we can do to improve the website so that when people hit our page for the first time, they get a better presentation than what we have right now. So if you're interested, if you've got an eye for detail, if you've got an eye for kind of putting yourself in the skeptic's shoes, please go on the website, check it out, see what you find, make your list, put it together in a Google Sheet or Google Doc, and then somebody just asked, where should we send it to? K Monte, yes, is asking, what is the website link? Hopefully, if you're a miner, you know what the website link is. But let's send it over to connect at blockchainmint.com. That goes over to AJR, or you can send it to AJR at blockchainmint.com. And she will get it organized and sent over to the HTML developer. We've got a good team now that's actually doing a really great job of improving the website. So that's why you're seeing so much good progress. But let's get ready. If we're going big and we're starting to invest money in approaching mainstream crypto, let's make sure we do it right with our best foot forward. So that's the website. Mitchell, Gage, Tim, anything to talk about regarding the website? 538 people on our call. Very great. Thank you so much for joining.
No, that's really good. And I think that swap button area is really nice too. That's something that everybody has always asked about. So
It's a little expensive, but it's convenient. Go grab your USDC, come to the swap site, and you can do it right there. Again, that's not an offer for a sale of a security to people in Texas. Okay, let's move on and talk about the really, really fun stuff. Look, I'm going to share a couple links if I can in the chat because I'm hearing that my internet connection sucks, and I want you guys to be able to keep up as we move along here. But I want you to check out this, and I want you to check out this because this is what we're going to be talking about next. But the big news of the week, guys, is really huge. And I know that there's so much going on and there's a lot to be excited about. There's a lot to talk about, but we have to slow down and pause, at least for a few moments on some of these major accomplishments. We kind of like ran right past this coin market cap verification thing. And that's a really big deal. We've spent a long time working on it. We got it. I've always said that I don't want to see much out of our price movement until we're coin market cap verified anyway, because nobody takes you seriously when you're not coin market cap verified. The data could all be fake for all they know. Once you're CMC verified, it puts you in a new class. It's a new league. And so that happened, what, a week and a half ago? Major accomplishment. But this is also a major accomplishment. And I'm going to start, I guess, on the pool website. So don't worry too much about the domain name pool.iskandercoin.com. I put a message into our community chat the other day about like why this monumental accomplishment is happening now and not, why didn't we get there before? Like what is it that has, been the catalyst for this major change? And so pool.iskandercoin.com is where we started building out the new mining pool server. And the reason for it is that we've been building our community, and ultimately, at the end of the day, we need to have a good network that works well, that's fast, that's reliable, that's able to carry the transactions that are happening on our network. That's ultimately the goal. And it takes time to get there, both in terms of the mining infrastructure and in terms of the technology. Okay, well, a couple months ago, we turned on 2 full containers of ASICs at the facility in Conroe. And so you may remember going back to, our other updates, we've got these giant 40-foot immersion cooling containers. We've got 200 ASICs in each one. We've got a strategy on how to deploy those across the state, and we're following that plan as closely as we can. Well, we put 2 in Conroe, and we negotiated a price for electricity and a minimum spend and all this stuff, and we started getting billed for it. And the bill was like $70,000 a month. And now we're on to our 3rd month paying for that. And so, $210,000 deep in electricity charges, we're looking at the results and saying, well, this isn't great. We're not making our money back in Litecoin block mining. This kind of sucks. And if we burn through $70,000 a month, it's only a matter of time before we run out of money. The whole plan was to merge my Litecoin and Doge to cover our electricity costs, maybe even make a profit. So that hasn't happened yet. Why? Because we've not focused on the tech and the pools, and part of it's based on just not knowing. Hold on, I got housekeeping here. Excuse me 1 second. I don't know need housekeeping. Yeah, thank you. See, I'm back.
That's one of the
I'm
nice
back.
guys about everything that with everything that happened now, we've been able to focus on the things that they weren't such a higher priority at the beginning. And so this time's been very productive. Most of you don't know half of the things that have been worked on. I just was having
Well, let's hope
conversations.
they don't know.
Yeah, talking about it. It feels like we're spinning like 8 or 10 different plates. We've got all these cool things going on right now that we can't fully share with you guys, but they're really neat and they're really
Let's
good.
not say can't. Let's say we won't. But
Yeah.
what's happening along with that as well is kind of the maturing of our organization. We've talked about this a little bit in the last 24 hours as well, where this is Bobby's blockchain. What is TEXITcoin? It's Bobby's. Bobby runs the whole thing. Bobby. Well, now we're starting to see, the fingers loosening up on this, grip and putting other people in positions of authority and leadership for these other projects that are very, very important for our success. And we're diversifying. And we've got other stuff too that hopefully we can talk about next week that are going to take it all the way into the realm of the format that a lot of people are going to really appreciate. And again, I don't want to talk too much about it today because it's a concept and it's a really, really good one. And we've already been doing it, but now we may formalize it and find ourselves kind of in the clear with everything. We'll get back to that. But yeah, we've been working on a lot of stuff. And I think what'll happen, Tim, is like 2, 3 years from now, we're going to look back and be like, how weird is it that everything happened exactly that way so that we were able to line things up, focus on the things that really needed attention. Like, we kind of got there by accident or outside of our control, but it was exactly what we needed at the time to do what was necessary to move the project forward. And so we're growing up. We're growing up. And as we grow up, we learn, we improve, and we make changes. So anyway, I mentioned in the chat group the other day, like, okay, well, why is it that we're figuring this out now? Well, we're figuring it out now because we, number one, didn't really know what to expect for a while. Number two, network performance wasn't a top priority for a while. The huge electric bill has gotten our attention, and adding Iskander to our network made 3+ coin merge mining a priority. So, we started out, just real quick history. We're mining on a desktop computer. We're mining on L3s through a pool in the garage. We're mining on an L7 in the garage. We figure out immersion cooling. We're mining on 5 L7s. We add L9s. We add these shipping containers. So you can see the growth. But somewhere along the line, we figured out how to merge mine Litecoin along with TEXITcoin. Big accomplishment for us. Now, we chose unwisely. Back when we made that decision, we only knew how to mine two at one time. Well, should we do Litecoin, the one that we're kind of modeled after, or should we do Dogecoin and TXE? LTC TXE or Doge and TXE? Which one? Well, I picked Litecoin, and I thought I chose right. Um, but apparently I did not. In all fairness to me, Doge jumped way after we made that decision. So it might have been kind of 50-50, and then Doge took off. And
Mistakes were made on both sides.
so
We get it. Yes.
what we've realized lately is that Doge is way more problematic when it's taking responsibility for these decisions and, errors, full disclosure and whatnot, avoiding my lack of disclosures and fraud. But long story short is when we add a third coin to the mix, ISK, now we've got to mine 3 coins. So we go back to the drawing board and we say, okay, we can't do it with just two. We need 3. Well, once we're doing 3, we can open up the door for also doing 4, which means we get to figure out how to mine Doge along the way. And that, of course, is what's happened. So big electric bill, Iskander, a new pool, figuring things out led us to where we are today. And so where we are right now is we've now got the ability to merge mine, and I'll share my screen with you here on pool.iskandercoin.com if you're following at home and my screen's too blurry. But this shows you our pool performance. Right now, you can see 5.9 terahash. You can think of that as 5.9 million megahash if you convert from terahash to megahash, whatever the numbers are. But that's 5.9 million megahash is pointed now at the new pool. And so remember, we've got 400 units in Conroe. We've got 48 in Mansfield, and we've got 24 in McKinney. Got a couple more here and there, but that's the bulk of what we've got. And so um, we've got 3/4 now of our installed hash power pointed at the new pool. We still have a quarter of it pointed at the old pool for some redundancy, for some testing. We didn't want to move everything over right away. Um, but we've got 3/4 of our installed hash power, and that's an important number we're going to come back to in just a moment. We got 3/4 of our installed hash power pointed at the new pool. And so this shows you that in the last 24 hours, just in the last 24 hours, we mined 4 Dogecoin blocks and 3 Litecoin blocks. Let's do the math real quick on this because it's kind of cool. Let's pull up CoinMarketCap. Dogecoin is 9.2 cents per coin, and in a Dogecoin block, you get 10,000 of them. Where's my calculator? Where's my calculator? Calculator. There's my calculator. Okay. So we get 10,000 at 9.2 cents. Easy math. That's 920 bucks, $921. So 920 times 4 in the last 24 hours is $3,680. Okay. And as you may have seen, we also mined 3 Litecoin blocks in the last 24 hours. So we go down a little bit further down the list and we find Litecoin at 54. There are 6.25 Litecoin per block. So let me write this down, 3680 in Doge. We get 6.25 LTC times how many blocks did we hit? 3? Did I say 3?
3.
3 blocks. That's an additional
18.75.
18.75 times what's it worth? Litecoin today is 53.98. That's another $1,012. 1012. Now, got to remember that the numbers aren't always perfect, and we'll have to wait for like a week or a month worth of data before we can start making conclusatory statements. But take the 1012 and add it on to the 3680. Guys, in the last 24 hours, we mined $4,692 worth. If we multiply that by 30 days, if what happened in the last 24 hours happens for the next 30 days, it's $140,000. Take out our $80,000 of total electric bills, and we've got a gross profit of $60,763 from 3/4 of our network pointed at this. That's pretty cool. That's very, very cool. We need like a moment of silence or something, a moment to just stop and go, we did it. And now, guess what the priority is now? Now the priority is to get the rest of the L9s installed. If we can make $60,000 that we can use towards our general fund, our marketing and promotion budget, whatever we decide as a community to use that for, let's go. Let's get those other, 1,100 L9s installed? I mean, now let's go. We've got the network worked out. I don't know if you've noticed it, but I pointed out another problem in our group where, let me see if I can share my Telegram screen. Usually not a good idea. But, I pointed out that normally in a day, I get 15, 20 network errors and warnings. I had one in the last 24 hours. One. Saying that we didn't get a block for 15 minutes.
Bobby, if people haven't been noticing how many coins that's been producing, why don't you go ahead and share with them what it's been producing here? Because this is absolutely amazing.
Why don't I go ahead and share with them? Because it is amazing. Look, you can go to mine. I don't know where I'm going there. MineTXT.com/statistics. It'll redirect you over to manage.iskandernetwork.com/statistics. We're going to get this moved over to the main TEXITcoin page as well. Because, like if we're building a mine, the first thing you'd want to see here is like price and mining statistics and coin output and all that stuff. But the statistics are still live here. And you can see that, look at the coin output for the last couple of days. Do the math on it as well, where we're supposed to be mining a block every 3 minutes. Well, there are 24 hours in a day, and there are 60 minutes in an hour. There are 1,440 minutes in a day. Divide that by 3 minutes per block. We should be mining 480 blocks per day. Well, scroll down this list, and you can see in the last couple of days, look at what's happened. We went
Look
from
at
mining
this.
an average
That's
350
amazing.
to 438 to 473 to 489 to 468. A little bit more than our 480 target, a little bit less. That is how our network is supposed to work. So, guys, look, I got to apologize. It is what it is. It wasn't a priority for a while. It became a priority. We've crushed it. We now have 4 coins merge mining at the same time. We'll add more as we go. There are other coins out there that we can mine on the Scrypt algorithm. We'll get them all. We'll be more profitable. We'll use that money for our benefit. So I'm sorry that it took us a long time to get here. And again, I think in a couple of years, we'll look back and be like, everything happens for a reason. Everything
Yeah.
that's supposed to happen always does. It goes exactly the way it's supposed to go. If you've got good people that aren't going to give up, as my new notebook tells us, never, never, never. If you got good people, you can pass the regulatory stuff, you can work past the trolls, you can work past the network issues, the hackers. I mean, guys, we've dealt with all of it. Check, 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 check. Lessons learned. If we don't give up, we're a top crypto, as long as we don't give up. And we never, never, never give up. So I apologize. I apologize that it took us this long to get to where we are now, but we're here. And not only are we here with a working network that's making extremely reliable blocks. And remember, you can go to the mempool and you can see blocks coming out real time. And you can see like, oh, okay, the average block time is now 3 minutes. That used to be 27. It used to be 27 minutes. 3 minutes ago, we made our last block. Before that, it was 4 minutes, 4 minutes there, 2 minutes there, 2 minutes there, 1 minute, 3 minutes. So this shows you the blocks as they're coming out. And the byproduct of this work that we've done is now being able to successfully mine Litecoin and Doge, along with TEXITcoin and iskandercoin, which is very impressive. And look at that. This mined 20 in the last hour. We're supposed to get one every 3 minutes. And guess what? 3 times 20 is 60 minutes. Now, if you're in here, you can click on pool to get a little bit more information. This shows you our pool hash rate. This shows you these blocks that we're pulling out. We haven't hit a Litecoin Doge in a while. This tells us that we're likely to hit the next TTF, time to find. We're likely to hit the next Dogecoin block in 9 hours. And now that it's working so well, we'll push over the majority of the rest of our network. And we will light the fires to get the next couple immersion cooling setups going. 4 of them just.
Can I just add to that too? So, guys, how important this is not only the amount of coins that are being produced a day, but because we're profitable, this speaks to the longevity of TEXITcoin. This speaks to the mining, what we're all about and what we're doing. We talk about that this is set up to where it can mine for 130 years for a generation, right? Well, this shows you when something's profitable, there you go.
Profitable. Now, let's focus in on the profitability thing. I shared another link in the chat with you for this whattomine.com website. This is a live site that calculates difficulty, value of Doge, value of Litecoin, value of Bitcoin, all that stuff. And it allows you to see real-time profitability. And I'm not going to get too much into it until we hear from the attorneys, but I've got a path for us that I think is kind of bulletproof. And the reason it's bulletproof is because you can't profitably mine Litecoin Doge at home. Why not? If you bought an L9 that runs at 16.5 gigahash, and you joined a pool that charged you a 2% rate, which is kind of a reasonable rate for a pool, and you plugged in your L9 and you have 240 volts and 20 amps, which most people don't. But if you had an L9 that was running at 3.4 kilowatts and you were getting a rock star price in Texas, what's the average price? Average price of power in Texas? 15.87 cents per kilowatt hour. What's the average price of Texas of power in California? What is it? 36 cents. Oh God. It's 4 times, 3.5 times Texas. 34 cents. Oh God, it's terrible. It's double. Okay, so if you were mining at home with your brand new L9 from Bitmain, the best unit out there for Scrypt mining, and you were running at 16.5 gigahash, and you were paying that rockstar price in Texas of 12.9 cents, you would be losing $2.61 a day. Why would anyone do it? Why would any individual participate in mining crypto? You wouldn't. And of course, that's exactly what's happened. We've seen the whole industry get completely consolidated by banks, institutional investors, foreign nations, because those are the guys that aren't paying retail prices, even Texas retail prices. If you were in Texas getting something below the average rate at 12.9 cents, you'd be losing $2.61 a day. It seems to me like a perfect opportunity for people to come together and start buying up wholesale electricity. In Conroe, we are at 0.065. That is our contract rate for Conroe. If you do the math on a single L9, now we don't have to pay any pool fees because we are the pool. So check this out. 16.5 gigahash for an L9. We're mining Litecoin Doge. There's the block reward. There's the block reward. And we're at 6.5 cents. Watch what happens to the numbers. We jump from losing $2+ a day to making almost $3 a day. That's the difference wholesale industrial electricity makes in the mining equation. Am I sharing my screen still?
No, you're sharing a different screen.
Good thing it's not something terrible, huh? There's my screen. We jumped from negative, where were we at? 13 cents there before? 13 cents. We jumped from losing $2.66 a day. Well, I guess we have to put the pool fees in there as well. Losing $2.69 per day. Take out the pool fee, change it to an industrial rate, calculate it, and we're making $2.68 per L9. Look, it's not a lot of money, but right now we've got 472 L9s. If they're each making $2.68 a day, that's $1,200 a day. We did the math on ours a minute ago. Times 30 days a month, it's $37,948 of profit per month with just the 472 installed that we've got right now. We have sold almost 24 million megahash. We've purchased almost 30 million megahash, 30 million divided by 16,500, which means that once they're all 1,800 units are in service, multiply that by $2.68 per day. We're talking about $4,872 per day of gross profit. It's $146,000 a month. Guys, these are big numbers. They're sustainable numbers. So as we climb out of this infancy period where we're figuring stuff out, we're getting through the challenges, the hacks, the technology, building out all the infrastructure that we need, when we get to a point of gross profitability and banking $146,000 a month that we can use towards promotion, that's how we get to where we want to go. So now the race is on to get the rest of this hash power installed. We figured it out. How? Why? Things all work out for a reason. I'm very sure of that at this point. And so to look at this new pool, to see the chain performance improved, to see the four coin merge mine, and also to see the profitability of these things. And I shared all the addresses so you can go through and monitor where the coin output goes to see all of these things now being mined real time. You know, we've mined 4 Dogecoins in the last 7 days, 3 Litecoin in the last 24 hours. What an incredible accomplishment this is. Pat yourself on the back. Persistence, guys. Took us a while to get here, but we made it. And now we've got a network that's functioning properly, paying out automatically every day, day in, day out, just like we promised. We've got a real thing. Coin market cap verified, network performing well, and a lot of other stuff in the works. Specifically, I'm ready to share this one with you guys so far. I'm not sure if I'm sharing my sound. Let me see if I can share my sound. Share screen, not that page. Share sound, share. CryptoU.ai. I'll put a link in for it as well.
Welcome to CryptoU. The world is changing fast. Money is becoming digital. Technology is reshaping how we live, work, and connect. The question is, are our students prepared? CryptoU is a structured education platform designed to help students understand the foundations of digital finance and blockchain technology. Built for ages 9 to 21 and beyond. Clear, responsible, and age-appropriate. We turn complex concepts into short, simple lessons that build real understanding, step by step. No speculation, no financial advice, and no pressure. Just education. Our curriculum moves through 3 progressive levels: foundations, mechanics, and infrastructure. Students earn knowledge badges as they grow in confidence and understanding. They learn how money works, how digital security works, and how to think critically in a rapidly evolving world. For students, this builds clarity.
For parents, it builds transparency and peace of mind. Because participation without understanding is risky. Understanding comes first. Welcome to CryptoU.
There you go. Very impressive content out of our education team, Corey, Lonnie, Rob. Thank you guys so much for doing such an incredible job. Look, we talked about phase 4 for a while, and education is really what it comes down to. Whether it's young people or old people, it doesn't matter. You know, we need to be prepared for the digital future. And the way that we get there is through knowledge, learning, education. And we have to take these complex concepts and simplify them. We watched a video at the beginning of the call where we talk about the basics of value exchange. And, you know, that'll obviously, you know, lead us towards getting into kind of the evolution of money and where we are today with digital money. But the point is that we've got a great platform coming together here. There are a lot of people that are contributing to this. I would like to invite you to contribute to it as well, because we are going to introduce a concept, probably not the first guys to come up with this, but we're going to call it learn to earn. You know, we've got some pretty strict rules on TEXITcoin mining. Mining can only be done through the system that we've established. And so that's how you get into TEXITcoin mining. With Iskander, we've got new rules. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that as you complete education components, courses, or you know, some of these modules, you're going to earn Iskander hash power. And so learn to earn is going to give people more and more Iskander hash power to give them a little bit of a drip off of the mine. What that does is it keeps people coming back for more education and more engagement. And so what we're looking for right now as we really build out and flesh out this ecosystem are more points of entry for people to want to participate with our community. Well, how do I get involved? Well, buy coins or join the mine. That's it. Traditionally, those were the answers to the question. Well, now join our education platform, and soon we'll have a gaming platform, and this platform, and that platform. So we've got a lot of stuff that are that's in the works, which is all very exciting. But my point about it is if you develop really great content, then let's license that content. Let's get it onto CryptoU. And as students are learning, we'll reward you as well with a license fee based on the completion of those courses. And so I don't have an exact formula for how that works yet, but I'm thinking we do kind of a one-to-one match. If somebody watches your education content, completes it, earns 1 megahash of hash power, we'll give you a megahash of hash power as well. We're building a mine. The faster we can build the mine, the faster we'll get the attention and respect of the crypto community. Don't quote me on those numbers just yet, but that's what I'm working towards. I'm working on a learn to earn program that has a licensing program in there as well, so that if you want to submit content, and we're not going to take content from everybody, and there's some stuff that we want, some stuff that we don't. But think about the stuff that like Jason Hummel has done over the years with his knowledge and understanding of money and value and barter. It's where I learned most of my stuff from. Let's license that. Let's get that great quality content. Let's get him to make a version of it for our site, and let's pay him in hash power as people go through those courses and soak up all that information as well. So the education platform is coming together very beautifully. I'm thinking sometime this week it's going to be ready to launch officially, formally, if it hasn't launched already. But great job to our education team. Thank you so much for creating this additional entry point into the TXC honest money ecosystem. Anything else to mention about that? Lonnie, you out there? You want to talk about it? Rob, anyone want to talk about it?
I just want to say how powerful that is. I mean, there's 500 some people on the call tonight. There's probably people on this call that still don't fully understand how to do everything. And that's what's going to be so nice about this CryptoU, is that you'll be able to get informed. And as you're getting informed, you're going to be able to earn some hash power too. So it's
learn and earn.
Yep.
Learn to earn, learn and earn. Which one do we like better? Learn and earn. But that's what I was saying a moment ago, guys, about, this thing maturing out of Bobby's blockchain into a powerful community that you guys are in the driver's seat for. That's an important part of maturing. We've wrestled with it from day one. Bobby's got his finger on the whole thing. If he decides to shut it down, we're all in trouble. Yeah, true. And I told you from day one, we'll work through it. When the time is right, we'll start to bring in other people. We'll establish that board of advisors that's coming together now. And now we're growing up. That's what growing up is all about. Remember, growing up and selling out are two totally different things. If you want to know more about the growing up stuff, read that Welcome to Season 3 article on the website, and it'll tell you about the philosophy behind the changes that are happening, which I see is extremely positive, driven maybe by external forces, but so be it. Where we are is exactly where we need to be today, and I'm very happy with it. Otherwise, guys, all systems are a go, except for Texas. We are moving forward across the board. We've got the road tour getting on the schedule. We had a call with Rangers the other night, and I think 50, 60 Rangers showed up for the call out of 120. Yep. And we said, look, we're not at the point today where we're drawing a line in the sand. Are you with us? Are you without us? Are you against us? Are you, I don't know. What's the saying? With us or I don't know. We're not at that point. We're not drawing the line and asking people if they're willing to take a bullet for TXC. Are you going to the death, willing to fight to the death with us? Like that's not our language. That's not what we're doing. That's what wasn't the purpose of the call. But we did reach out and we said, hey, put your hand up if you're here and you're ready to roll up your sleeves and get back to work with us. We've been through some stuff in the last month and a half. We've learned some lessons. Look, remember, it's not just the last 6, 7 weeks. It's changes that started happening as of August, September, October. It's the frustration of watching the price drop. It's the frustration of watching the sales numbers change. So we've been dealing with this for the better part of half a year, I'd say. And so I know some people are disillusioned. Some people are frustrated. Some people we had deals with, and those deals have changed or been broken. And we're gonna have to account for all of that. We're going to have to, deal with all of that at some point. I don't know the right word, better word. We have to come to terms with all that. So all that's going to happen because we're not dead, as we've been reminding you for a while now. We never were. But the point is that as we move forward, we're going to go out there and we're going to ask to see who is ready to roll up the sleeves and get to work with us, because I'm ready to go. Tim's ready to go. Gage is ready. Mitchell's ready. Rob's ready. Corey's ready. Steve's ready. Kyle's ready. The team's ready. We're ready. Who's coming with us? Why does it matter? Well, because we're going on the road. we had a guy come out today to service the RV, make a list of all the stuff that's got to get fixed and repaired, because 2 weeks from now, that thing is wheels up or wheels down or wheels rolling. And we're coming to a town possibly near you. We're going to Nashville. We're going to Atlanta. We're going to Myrtle Beach. We're going to Jacksonville. We're going to Tampa. We're going to Miami. The tour will semi-conclude at the Crypto Polo Cup, which our logo is back on the website for after I yelled at those guys and said, hey, where'd my logo go, bro? Crypto Polo Cup. It is not in Dubai. It is now in Miami. And there's the logo back up on the website. Spent a lot of money on this. We've got tickets for 50 of us. I'm trying to figure out how to get more tickets. This is the Luna team. Great people. They're doing a great job helping us engage mainstream crypto. But this is where the RV will end up May 9 in Miami. And so along that path, we want to know where to stop. If you're there, if you want to get together, break bread with us, have a hug, cry it out, throw a party, sit by a campfire and talk crypto and honest money, let's get together. Now, I won't personally be there myself, but a lot of great people will. And so if you're there, if you're around that circuit and you want to get together, let us know. Reach out. Let us know what you can do and how you can help. We never ask for anything from anybody for free. If we can throw a party together, cover the costs, and remind people that we're still today as committed to the mission as we always ever were, then we are off to a good start for season 3. And so all systems are go. The road trip is happening. Reach out to Mitchell or Tim or Gage or Trey or somebody and figure out who's where, and let's connect. Let's get that passion and energy
We'll post
back.
this stuff out there once we get this finalized. We've got another meeting tomorrow, Bobby, that we're going over all the details. But once we get the actual details and everything, we'll post that to everybody. And again, guys, it's all about coming out and having fun. It's about the community. That's exactly what we're doing. We're talking about season 3, where we're at, where we're going. I see on here there's something I just got to point out, Mark. I don't know who you are. You're like, well, what about TEXITcoin? I haven't heard anything positive about it. This whole call, that's what we've been talking about, bud. So merge mining, 4 coins. I don't know where you've been, but go back and listen to it again. There's a lot of positive stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
A lot of stuff. Well, look, we are working on the narrative with the PR community. And the narrative with the PR community is that, we're making crypto fun again. Retail interest in crypto is at an all-time low. Nobody cares. Why? Because it got hijacked by the banks and the institutions. They run it now. Biggest holders are publicly traded companies, BlackRock, ETFs. It's not dead. Crypto's not dead. You can't kill it. It's not dead, but they've kind of like sucked all the energy out of it. And we're the only guys that are out there putting energy back into it with individuals. That's the only way that it can be done. It can't be done from a top-down investor, bank, hedge fund perspective. That's the reason that it's so important for us to get back together and show the world that the energy and the passion and the enthusiasm is in the TEXITcoin community. And so that's what really matters as we get into season 3, bringing people back together, having a good time, sharing our story, spreading the message of peace and prosperity with people in all the states, and that's where it begins. And we're working right now on 2 timelines, as we've talked about. Timeline number 1 is getting the wheels in motion again, putting the RV on the street, getting people back together, having a good time, concluding that tour in early May in Miami at the Polo Cup. We've got influencers, we've got promotion and marketing strategies now. We've paid for all that stuff. It's a go. We're going. We're CoinMarketCap verified. The networks, we got a network error here. Hopefully I'm still here. So that's the first timeline. The second timeline then is everything that leads up from now to winning our case in August. And as we prepare for that victory, we're looking at a late September, early October event in Dallas. And guys, I want to blow the doors off of everything with this event. I want 100,000 people there. Concert. We'll put a budget behind it to get some big names out there to really crush it. and this is win or loss. It doesn't matter because honest money can never lose. It doesn't pivot. Win or loss, we're having a party in North Texas. It's kind of a 1 year celebration of the Game Over giveaway. Hopefully, those cars are coming back around, finding their home. And we're going to get people together and we're going to get people excited about honest money. That's the thing that drove us to where we are today. We still have it just as much as we ever have. I didn't forget it. The people on this call probably didn't forget it, except for Mark. Mark might have forgotten it. But the other 498 people didn't, and that's what this project's all about. So that's the second timeline. Winning in August. We probably won't get a verdict on the hearing until like 3-4 weeks later anyway. There's some like follow-up stuff, submissions and whatever. So we probably won't get an answer on the hearing until mid-September, but late September, early October, date yet to be secured, location yet to be secured and announced. We will throw a party of parties in the North Texas area. Last time we did it was in Austin. It was a disaster getting it there. It was expensive. It was inconvenient. They didn't have sufficient rooms for people to come into town and stay over. So let's get the fun back, guys, whether it's Miami in May or North Dallas, North Texas area in late September, early October. It's time to bring the fun back because that's what drives our growth. The excitement drives our growth. If we show people that we've got a cool thing that's working properly, that's now, funding its own marketing and development growth, we've got something real and we've got something to get excited about. And we want you to be excited because it is happening now in a big way. So continue to monitor, continue to pay attention, continue to contribute, reach out and let us know about website updates that you think we need. Reach out and let us know if you've got some content that you can put together that we can put onto the CryptoU website that you'd like to license to us in exchange for some hash power as people complete those courses. But now is the time. If you guys have been waiting for the directions, your marching orders, here they are. Check out the website, review it, give us some content ideas for CryptoU. If you've got some content that you can contribute, whether it's articles. Oh, it's another thing too. If you're writing articles, if you're writing like, newsworthy, like blog post type stuff, let's get them posted on the TEXITcoin website as well. The more content we put out there, the more the AI and the robots have to work with to decide that we're a real project. Review the website, review CryptoU, consider whether or not you can contribute to that in any way. Decide if you are kind of on the east side of the country for our RV tour that kicks off, I think, the 17th or 18th of April. Come join us in Miami for the Polo Cup. We'll find out about more tickets. We'll have a contest and giveaway for some of those tickets as well. We've got 50 tickets there to get us started, and we'll find out about getting more. But guys, it's game time. Now, how do you do it? Is everything working? No. We need to go through administratively and figure out what people are trying to accomplish and then make sure that the systems are able to accommodate those things. How do you add somebody for TEXITcoin? How do you add somebody for Iskander? How do you do this? How do you do that? We don't know. We're figuring it out. Sales are now in the system for Iskander. And so we've made a lot of progress. I've been telling you guys any day now. So that's happening. Commissions are being awarded. It's taken some time to get through it. There's a bit of a backlog, but it is happening now. And so thanks for hanging with us. Thanks for the patience. Thanks for everything. We're not out of hot water yet. We still got some work to do. We still need to be cautious. We still need to do the right thing all the time. And my belief, as always, that good will always win in the long run. We tell the truth. If we're honest with people, if we're upfront, then we can't be wrong. And so that's what I need you guys to continue to take forward as well as you share our story with people. Let them know it's a risk. Let them know it's not a security. Let them know that they will need to actively participate if they choose to join us in this journey. If they don't want to become a miner, all good. Go buy a handful of coins. Go join the education platform. There will be more stuff coming that we'll announce in the future as well. There are lots of ways to get involved that don't involve potential alleged securities now. So the more we add to that, the more we build out our ecosystem, the more powerful it gets, the more people contribute, the more powerful it gets. And that's where we are today. Tim, Gage, Mitchell, anything else to add?
I love it.
I would like to add, because I saw we have quite a few Ocala people in the chat. There is
Present yourself, sir. I can't even see you.
Well, I am in bed, Bobby, if I'm going to be honest. Okay. So I'm handling the chats. I'm handling the Q&A section. Why you got to call me out like that? But
Oh, yeah, that's great.
just it's 9 o'clock here and or
He's on
10
the
o'clock.
toilet. He's having a poo.
Um, but I see a lot of Ocala people in the chat, and they said, "Hey,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a stop in Ocala. I want to let you guys
We
know that
are.
there is a stop in Ocala." And Bobby, where can people when we get all those dates and times and locations
We're
100% locked in? Where will we
we're going
put
to
that
post
up?
it in a couple spots, Mitchell, but we're definitely going to post it under the general tab in the Telegram for all the miners. We'll have it in the Ranger area too for everybody to pass it on. But it'll be posted multiple different times. So
I think we'll have a website set up for it as well, just with locations and dates, kind of like a concert tour looking website. That obviously is going to
yeah,
take a
we'll get
little bit of
Jim
time and
to put
effort,
together
but
signups
it
for
should
that.
be, yeah, we'll have a sign up page and all that stuff. But yeah, that'll be published very, very soon so that people can RSVP. And again, we're not drawing lines in the sand. We're not asking for people to take a blood death oath. We're asking who's out there who wants to have a good time with us. Let's go. And I know lots of you guys have already said yes, and thank you for that. And I know lots of you guys have moved on, and that's great. That's great. I hope you guys are happy, healthy, and safe. I hope you guys have all the best of luck and wellness as you get into whatever comes next for you in life. But for the people that are out there that are continuing to be excited about building and growing TEXITcoin and the future of honest money, let's go. It's game time.
Love it.
Q&A. Here we go. My favorite part of the call. Leah, is there a video that can walk me through what to do with the coin when received? There's a lot of stuff on the help desk. I'm not sure where you may have looked already. You get the mission control manual. There's some helpful things in there. If you can't find exactly what you're looking for, reach out to McKaylin and she'll direct you to, the
Well,
good information there.
Bobby, I don't know if she's talking about Iskander or Texacoin. So
Oh,
if she says, yeah,
we
either
might
way.
not ever know. Thaddeus says, when will adding ISK wallet be active, please? So we mentioned that to the developers, and they should have been working on it already. Remember, you can set up your Iskander wallet at wallet.iskandercoin.com, and then you can get your receiving address and you can plug it in over on the management page. I think that that's working. If it's not, then let me know and I will ping the developers again. Can we now share TXT mining with others? If so, what website is used for them to join the community? Two great questions there. First of all, the answer is yes, outside of Texas. Remember, nothing is available in Texas. We can't do anything whatsoever in Texas. We have to be very careful because, look, these things happen. We don't necessarily agree with them, but they do carry some weight. And we don't want to dig our hole any deeper. We want to go into this hearing in August saying, you told us to stop. We stopped. We prepared all kinds of information and evidence to show you what you are missing in this whole thing. Here it is, and let's get this thing lifted. So we got to be very careful in Texas. Everywhere else, it is go time. Now, clean up the language, be careful, make sure people know that active participation is a core requirement. If they're not willing to actively participate, have them buy a handful of coins. The SEC was really nice to crypto in this latest clarification. They talk about digital commodities not being securities. Very spectacular. As far as the website to sign up, I don't know because I think that the Iskander network page right now is really only geared for Iskander. Is that right?
Yes.
Well, that's what we're going to have to talk about tomorrow, Tim, to get TEXITcoin on there as well.
Okay.
Uh, so keep an eye out for that. You'll also have the ability to add them through your back office. And I'm not sure exactly when or where or what's missing for that. Russell says he hasn't received coins in 2 days. Has anybody else not received coins in 2 days?
Russell, I thought we graduated you. No, just kidding, buddy. No, I don't know. If you got a problem, reach out to us.
Yeah, Russell, first thing I would do is I would log in and make sure that your wallet addresses are still accurate. We've had issues where people have been hacked in the past. We think we've dealt with all that with two-factor authentication, but double check that first. And then make sure your app is updated. Where are you looking for those coins? Are you looking for them on a web wallet? Are you looking for them in the app wallet? Are you looking for them on a desktop wallet? Remember, the desktop wallet has been shut down. Dr. Darrell says, any other layer one networks merge mining multiple coins, or is that an original concept created by Bobby Gray? Well, merge mining was created by Litecoin Doge guys. Bell's coin is probably the most noteworthy clone of Litecoin Doge that is also merge mined along with them. So it's definitely not a concept created by Bobby. It's definitely something that the whole world is familiar with. So hopefully that answers your question. Just that mine was almost one half as much again. Just that mine was almost one half as much. Not sure what you mean there. How is Iskander being positioned? Is it following the TEXIT structure for upline downline? We don't have upline downline stuff right now, Erica. We are focusing kind of on a straight up affiliate program right now with Iskander and using a larger marketing budget for Iskander focused promoters and influencers. What can TX residents do to support TEXITcoin until we win the C&D? Well, education is really the easy answer to that question. First of all, don't collect money from anybody. Don't ask for money from anybody in Texas. As you know, the first rule of security is that there's money involved. Two is that it's a common enterprise. Three is that, there's an expectation of profits. And four is that it's done almost entirely exclusively by the work of others. So those are the basic things that, the government, the courts use to determine what is and what isn't a security. We're pretty sure that 3 and 4 don't work in our world at all because we're mining TEXITcoin and there's a lot of work that you have to do in order for it to be valuable in any way whatsoever. We won't get into the legal aspects right now. It's on the legal page if you want to check it out. But education is the answer to your question. Why is education a good answer to that question? Because there's still a huge community of people out there that don't understand crypto and haven't gotten involved. And even if we can't ask them for money today, we can still teach them a thing or two about how to navigate the strange and exciting world of crypto safely. And if they get into crypto and they understand it and they like it and they want to get more involved, someday they may be able to do that through TEXITcoin mining or through purchasing TEXITcoin. So what we can do today is we can bring them into our community. We can help them get started. And then as they understand the project and as the rules are clarified in Texas, they may be able to do more down the road.
Can I add something there too? So Edward, you can also, there's only 500 people on this call. We've got 50,000 miners, right? So there's a lot of people that aren't even going to listen to this. They don't know the good things that we just talked about tonight. The merge mining of the coins, all the things, all the positive things that Bobby has just went over. So start sharing that with the people, letting them know that, hey, this project looks like these guys are still moving. They're still working. They're still doing. Yep.
We're still moving for sure.
Yep. So share with them.
That is a very important thing because
tonight, all the positive things, and let them know that the communities are getting back together. That's exactly what we're doing.
Part of what is being accomplished through this kind of regulatory process is some disclosure on some things. We had to fork over a copy of the code to the regulators. They asked for a copy of the code. Okay, sure. People have accused us, trolls have accused us of not having a real network. Now, to me, it's kind of stupid and far-fetched. But OneCoin never had a network. They were huge. They never had a network. How do you know that we probably have a network? Because we're on public exchanges. We couldn't be on public exchanges if we didn't have a real blockchain. Like they verify it as well. But again, some of the things, they're putting us under the microscope. So you're going to see, some information come out that that clarifies some things that people have questioned in the past. Does it definitively, absolutely make us not a scam? Of course not. But is it good to have, some of those things under a magnifying glass to prove out that we're not a Ponzi, that we're not a pyramid, that we're not an MLM, that we're not a pump and dump, that we didn't do an exit scam or a rug pull when the going got tough? Sure. This is a great time for us to prove what we are through some of these challenges that we have to overcome. Paul, no, an Iskander wallet will not be assigned to you. You've got to get your own. Now, we will have cold storage wallets manufactured at some point as well. So if we send you a cold storage coin, you can link that to your Iskander account Tim, that's another thing we got to talk about later about getting that going. But no, it will not be assigned to you. You've got to set up your own wallet or wait for a coin. Remember, we're holding on to those coins until you activate your account. What is the commission for getting TXT miners involved? I think we're doing a straight commission on that as well, 20%. Is the blockchain mint wallet still active? We never really had a blockchain mint wallet. We've had a blockchain mint app that tracks the value of coins, and it should, in fact, still be active. David says, what do you mean by actively participate? Are we able to build again with TEXITcoin, or are you talking about ISK? Building with TEXITcoin is alive and well outside of Texas. Active participation, look, we're going to come out with more information on that in the next week or two as we get, this idea that I'm working on vetted. But when you're talking about securities, you got to get past those four things: cash, common enterprise, expectation of profit, and effort of others. And so as we talk about active participation, it's like, well, what can I do? Well, you can promote us. You can, do education stuff. You can participate in committees. You can contribute content. You can, we would have to come up with a whole list of things that you could do or are expected of you in order to actively participate. So that's kind of like what we're working through now. If you don't want to actively participate, you can buy a handful of coins if you're not in Texas. But there are different ways to get involved. As soon as we start pooling money and resources, that's when the security thing starts, coming around and saying, hey, this smells like a security. And we go, why? Crypto's not a security. Mining's not a security. This thing's not a security. Well, the one thing that they still haven't clarified in any of those documents is cloud mining, which is kind of what we are, except for the people that we send physical miners to. And so the difference between cloud mining and home mining is who plugs it in? Who pays the electric bill? Okay, if one central authority does that, does it automatically make it a security? This is what we're working through. But in order to bolster our argument as it not being a security is, look, you've got to actively participate. People have asked us in the past, hey, instead of like giving me a daily TXE, can you just convert it to cash and deposit in my bank account by ACH? Well, that's a security. When we give you TXE and you've got to store it and you've got to figure out how to move it and you got to figure out how to sell it or trade it or spend it, like there's active participation involved in making that valuable. And so if you have an expectation of profits, you got to do the own work to make it profitable. And so anyway, I don't want to get too deep into the legal stuff. But point is, we will focus more on active participation as this thing gets cooking again. It's like, look, if you don't want to actively participate, don't become a miner. We're gonna want you to help us. Apparently, it's window cleaning day. We're gonna want you to help us build and grow. And how can you do that? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, Amy says, will everyone get a cold storage wallet for Iskander? Yes. Even Canadians? No. Same rules as before. If you're not in the US, we're not mailing it to you. If you need to send somebody down and pick up a bundle of coins for your country, send them on down. Thaddeus, I have not been able to activate ISK wallet in back office as Link does not allow adding my ISK wallet. Let's get that resolved tomorrow, Tim. Yep. TXT commission 20%. I got it. Thanks. How about hash power bonus if you don't want 20%? Yeah, I think we're going to use the same commission plan for TEXITcoin as we are for Iskander. Is that right?
Yeah.
So
yes.
BOGO, TROGO, QUOGO, all of those things are there as well, regardless of Iskander or TEXITcoin, which is huge, huge bonuses. Is there any extra bonus for adding miners besides 25% cash or matching hash? 20% cash, 20% cash. We're still doing the 1, 2 free. Do you know who filed the complaint against you? No, there was no complaint against me. I'm not sure what you mean there. Do you want to give an update on Dubai or other location? Mark, not yet. What I can tell you is Dubai is off the radar at the moment. There's a lot that goes into that we're still working through. We created Iskander to really, engage the Middle Eastern market. Well, the government has decided that the Middle Eastern market is off the radar for a while. So we're working through how to modify that strategy to still stay relevant and on course with what our original goals were. And once we have that figured out, we'll let you know. That's it. Hour and 19 minutes. Not a bad call. Sleepy Mitchell, anything else?
No, that's it.
Well, get some shut eye, bro. We got work to do.
Thank you guys for being here.
Gage, anything else to add before we go?
No, it was all great. Pretty exciting updates. And, I think everybody's looking forward to the East Coast tour. I think it's going to be a good time.
Yeah. Season 3 has begun. Be a part of it. Help us write the next chapter in our story. It's been a lot of fun, guys. Like, we couldn't have done it without you. And onward and upward. Thanks so much. We'll catch you guys again next week or before. Have a great night, everyone. Bye.